If you are still baking chocolate cake in your oven, you might be ruining it. The oven is a dry heat environment. It literally pulls the moisture out of your cake. Today, I'm proving that the best chocolate cake you could ever make comes from your Instant Pot. If you disagree, we'll just have to have a fight about it. I get it. Cake in a pressure cooker just sounds wrong. I used to think the same thing until I realized something very simple. The oven uses dry circulating heat. The Instant Pot is basically a chamber of steam. One evaporates moisture and one protects it. And when we're talking about chocolate cake, moisture is everything. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through my process of making the best chocolate cake in the world in my Instant Pot. It is so easy, it'll blow your mind. It might feel overwhelming, but you'll see this process is easy peasy. Okay, I know you want to make a cake as perfect as this, so let's do it. We are keeping this ridiculously simple. We are going to use a 15.25 ounce box mix. Just any type of chocolate cake mix is great. No tweaks, no drama, super easy peasy today, and the flavor will blow you away. Okay, let's get started. We are literally just looking at our box mix here. So whatever your box says, we're going to follow those exact directions. On my box, it says to add the mix. So we're gonna pour that in. Then it says to add a half cup of oil, 1 cup of water, and 3 eggs. Now we're just going to mix on low speed until moistened, about 30 seconds, and then on medium speed for 2 minutes. So let's do that really quick. Okay, now that our batter is done, now we're going to prepare our pan to go into our Instant Pot. Now, before you put any pan into an Instant Pot or before you prepare anything to go into it, you have to make sure your pan fits first so you don't have to pour it out and start over. The Instant Pot will fit a 6 or 7 inch round cake pan. This is a 6-inch round cake pan, and I will link to this in the description. This one happens to have a removable bottom, just for easier lifting once it's finished. You don't need that because the cake will come out very easily if you just have a regular pan. But I have foil wrapped around the bottom of this pan because the bottom is removable, just in case a little bit of batter leaks through. Regardless of the kind of pan you use, you are gonna want to spray it really well with some sort of cooking spray. Okay, I got it nice and sprayed, and then we literally just pour in our prepared batter. Get it all. It might look like you're adding a lot to this little pan, and you are, but it all turns out perfectly in the end. So if you come in here, I'll show you something real quick. This is just a little extra step I do because I've noticed that sometimes when I make a cake in the Instant Pot, I get a little tiny air bubble just in the center of the cake that doesn't affect the flavor, but I don't think any of us want a little bubble in the center of our cake. What I've done to alleviate that is just to help release some of the air bubbles by sticking a knife, a butter knife, in to get rid of any air that's in there. And you can see some of those air bubbles coming up. Here's the step that you absolutely cannot miss out on. You need to put foil over the top very securely. Okay, we have a totally secure pan. Now I'm going to grab our trivet and we're gonna set the cake right on the trivet. We'll go into the pot just like that. We are going to add 1.5 cups of water to the bottom of the pan today, and we'll plop our prepared cake pan right inside, just like that. Now, once it's in, make sure it's level. Ours is totally level. Always check your sealing ring first. Just make sure metal goes in between the notch of the sealing ring perfectly, and this is all set. So we will put the lid on. We are going to set the valve to sealing. Here's something else that's really important to point out. We're not going to use the pressure cook button today. If you do not have a cake button, it's totally fine. You can use the pressure cook button instead. But if you do have the magical cake button, we are going to use it because it does magic, you guys. We're going to hit that cake button and we are going to cook this on high pressure for 45 minutes. Okay, hands off. It's going to start cooking in just a minute. Okay, our Instant Pot is doing its magic with cake. It will take a few minutes for the pressure to build up inside the pot, so don't worry. It will stay on until it actually starts cooking. Just let it do its thing. Once the timer starts counting down, that means it's actually cooking. And when it gets to 0, it'll beep. We are going to let the pressure release naturally for 20 minutes on this cake. So I'll see you back here when we're at that spot. Okay, I'm peeking back in because while our Instant Pot was doing its magic, I decided to put my batch of chocolate buttercream frosting together. We're not gonna go through that in this video. I will link to it here. I do have another video for that, so you can just follow that one. It's perfect every time, just like the cake, but I'm gonna show you how amazing this looks. There's really no reason in this entire world why you should buy store-bought frosting ever again. It's so easy and so yummy to make your own. Can't wait to spread it all over our cake. Our pressure has released naturally for about 20 minutes. By the way, it doesn't have to be perfectly at 20 minutes. If it goes to 30 minutes, it's totally fine. The cake is still going to turn out perfect, I promise. So now we are going to release the remaining pressure, which isn't much, and it should take just a second or two for the silver float valve to drop. There it is. So now we can remove the cover and see what the cake looks like. Remove the cake very carefully. So I always use these handy little oven mitts to take it out of the pot. Smells good. Okay, we'll do a reveal, but I do want to let this cool a little bit before we frost it or do anything crazy to it. So why don't you come over here and we'll do a reveal and see what it looks like. I'm going to carefully remove the foil, see what we have inside. Okay, so as you can see, there are some cracks. Ooh, that's still hot. There are some cracks on top. That's okay. This does not affect the flavor. It does not affect the texture. I never promise a crack-free top, but we can smooth over that so nicely with frosting when we get to that point. But I just want to point out that this is not a fail at all. We're going to give it just a few minutes to cool, and then we'll be back for adding the frosting and putting the whole cake together. Okay, we have let the cake cool for just a little bit. So I'm going to show you how this pan works when you have a removable bottom. So remember, we covered the bottom in foil, so we're going to remove the foil. Before we do anything, I want to loosen the edges with a butter knife. So I don't even need it. It's already separated from the edges because it's a perfect cake, but just in case, I did it anyway. Now I am going to push the bottom up. And look at that. Look at this cake. It is the perfect cake. So here is my cute little serving platter, cake plate. It's a small one because we have a small cake. The Instant Pot always makes dense, cute little treats. So I am going to get my cake plate ready. Now to get this bottom part off, see how there's a metal plate on the bottom? I'm just going to gently flip it in my hand, and it's sturdy enough that I can do that, and just remove it. And then I'm going to flip it over, center it on my cake plate, just like that. It's ready to frost. I'm going to use an offset spatula that looks like this to frost. If you don't have one, it's totally fine. You can use a butter knife, no problem. What I like to do is just start with the top, put a few nice big smears of frosting right in the center. From here, we will spread out. By the way, this is a half batch of buttercream frosting. Since our cake is so small, we don't need a full batch, so it's totally fine to have it. So once we have the top covered, I like to kind of go outward. We want to start frosting down the sides. And we're just gonna do that all the way around. Okay, I'm just finishing up frosting. So there you go. What do you think? Okay, I think we should cut into it and see what it looks like inside. So excited. Gonna use a long serrated knife to cut in. Oh my gosh. Look at this. I mean, it doesn't get any more perfect than that. The crumbs are dense, they're moist, they are uniform. It's rich without being overwhelming. I think we should do a taste test just so you can see my reaction. Okay, for real. I have had chocolate cake at fancy bakeries, fancy restaurants. Nothing tastes like this. It is that good. If you love airy baked cakes, keep your oven. I will not be offended. But if you love dense, rich, chocolatey, consistently perfect every time cakes, try the Instant Pot. And I encourage you to bake a cake in your oven and then make a cake in your Instant Pot, compare them, and then come back and let me know what you like best. If you love lazy food that actually tastes good, hit like and subscribe and come back for more. I have so much more for you here at Pip and Ebby. This is my year of the Instant Pot. We have so much to explore. So I'll see you back here next time. Thank you for watching.